place. They are west of Hathaway Street, east of Sunset Avenue, and north of Wilson Street. And the evacuation center is Beaumont High School. They're accepting animals as well at that location. It's difficult conditions out here for the firefighters. High temperatures and low humidity is helping to feed the flames here. And you're seeing just a big patch of smoke there as the fire just continues to burn on all fronts. Tilting down here, this is where this burn scar is. It's burned through this area and threatened some homes. There at the top of your screen. And David, let's go around the south and look at the tankers dropping. The air assault is taking place. It's on the southern and eastern flank of the fire. We're going to go around there to take a look, try to get some visuals there. As I zoom in, you're seeing one of those aircrafts right there. Looks like it's getting ready to set up. There's flames right below. Let's see if it drops. There's the drop. This is a look at the southeastern flank of the fire. Hey, Kevin, go ahead. Yeah, it looks like it's burning in the wilderness in the hillside. I don't see any structures. It's pretty rugged terrain. So at this point, I don't see anything on the northwest or the southeast. This is the southeast, and this is just rugged hillside here. Unless there's some homes tucked in there off of side roads, we're not seeing anything. You got it. We'll do. You can turn back, David. We can head back the other way. Well, we're able to get our first look here today of the southeastern flank of the fire. It is burning out of control in some very thick and heavy brush. We see the flames there underneath the smoke plume, and there's just more flames and fire within that smoke plume as they come out wide. You'll see that. It appears that it's burning away from any kind of structures, any homes. The nearest homes we're seeing from this shot are down the hillside here. I'll show you that as I zoom out a little bit. Down to the left there, you see a little community, a side road here, and some homes that are scattered there. And we'll take this opportunity to look in there, structures, ranch-style homes. And one of the things we're noticing is the brush clearance around the structures. This is in a little bit of a valley there, I guess you could call it. And the hillside around it on 3 sides, it looks like a little paw print there of structures that are nestled right up inside the hills or alongside the hillside. And if I pan to the right, that hillside there, and then beyond that hillside, you see the red fire retardant that's been laid there. That's protecting those homes to slow the progress of the fire if it starts to creep down that hill. But just on the other side of the hill is where we're seeing the first flame length. So not too far from those homes, but it looks like at this point they're safe for now, unless the wind changes and brings that fire down towards them, or additional fire out towards the west beyond the homes in this direction. This is looking west here. You see it's burned, fired there on the west side, and it is kind of creeping down into there. But the good news is once it gets down into the little valley there, there's not much to burn other than the hillside all around and the more fire retardant there. So you're seeing how the air attack is coming in here and strategically putting that fire retardant. Now the fire retardant is there as a device to slow the fire down. It doesn't put out the fire, but it will slow down the fire once it reaches those red fire lines there of fire retardant. Here comes possibly another drop. They're dropping just, I believe, south of where the fire is burning. So there is some fire that's right there on that westerly flank of that little valley there, and that may pose a problem for some of these structures. Mostly, we've seen that one ranch-style home, and this might be like a place where you can go camping. What was that about? Oh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Out to a wider shot, we'll see. the burn scar there to the left, that's to the west. That's where the fire was. Burned through all that, and that's where a lot of homes were when this fire first broke out, right along the hillside. There are some hot spots there the crews are mopping up, but you never want to turn your back on those to make sure that they don't flare up. Fortunately, the winds, like I said, aren't too strong. The fire jumped this little area here where there's some homes off of this road. And then continue marching up the hillside. So right now the fire is in the brush on the hillside, burning uphill north and east, away from any structures that we can see. You seen another fire out that way? Well, seeing a flare up in the burn scar. I'm going to show you that in a second. In fact, they just dropped some fire retardant there. But you're seeing this is the northwestern flank of the fire. A lot of heavy brush, and it is just burning uphill really fast. Yeah, yeah. And this is the hot spot that I was talking about in the previous burn, or I should say in the burn scar from this fire. This is why the firefighters cannot drop their guard here after it's burned through these areas. They got to go through and make sure, because this is what can happen, and it certainly flared up right here along this road. Up the hill. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us on the web. This is Gil Levis, News Chopper 4 Bravo, along with my pilot David Viskovich. We are over the Apple Fire. This is in Cherry Valley, north of the 10 freeway. This all started yesterday around 5 o'clock. It was burning in some thick, dry brush, and it's continuing to do so. It's eating its way up the hillside at a rapid pace. You're seeing those flame lengths there, putting up a lot of that dark smoke, but even a bigger plume to the right that you can't see right now, but it is pushing off to the smoke, I should say, is pushing off to the north and east. Fortunately, the winds aren't too strong. It is a fuel-driven fire. It's consumed 4,100 acres and growing. It has, there is zero containment on the flames. And fire officials are reporting that 3 structures have been lost, 1 residential home and 2 outbuildings. And where the bulk of the fire is burning right now, it doesn't appear that there are any homes, It is on steep, rugged terrain like you see here. And again, the fire is pushing north and east. There are mandatory evacuations. The evacuation center is Beaumont High School, where people and animals are welcome. The mandatory evacuations in this area are for west of Hathaway Street, east of Sunset Avenue, and north of Wilson Street. And this is, we're actually very close to these flames right now as I zoom in here. This side of the fire is just burning unchecked, out of control. Now on the southern and eastern flank of the fire, there is an air assault going on with fixed wing tankers that are dropping the fire retardant, protecting some of the homes that are south of the fire. That is a spectacular look at flames just eating up this hillside. And in this particular area, it's almost reached the top of that hillside, which is probably about 7,000 feet, maybe a little higher. Look at the flames just eating up that tree. I mean, that's a giant tree there. It looks small in the picture, but it's pretty big. You see some dead trees there that are just fuel for the fire. And then that thicker brush there that is just being consumed.
Okay, you're going over it. About 5.
Who was that? Let's go back to the southeast again and look at the attack over there. So as we're departing this side of the fire, this is the northwest flank. It's just eating up that hillside. Look at the fuel ahead of it. It should be cresting that hillside here in about, well, probably less than an hour, and probably shorter than that. Here's a look at the plume of smoke. It's thick, it's dark, and it is like a mushroom cloud. It's just exploding out of that forest down there. Looks like the winds have maybe shifted a little bit in the lower elevations here. We're seeing another tanker coming in. I'm going to try to pick that up for you right there. And just to give you an idea of what it's like up here in the chopper, we're at about 10,400 feet. And this tanker skimming right over the hilltops, getting ready to drop its fire retardant load. Hey, Kevin, go ahead. Any word on Bravo being ready? We'll have to check on Bravo. We can land for now and refuel at San Bernardino and check in with management to see what's going on with that. But we can land and fuel there, and then make a decision what to do. There is a delay on fuel at San Bernardino, so it will probably be about an hour before we could get fuel and be back over. We can go to Fullerton. It's about 25-30 minute flight and get fuel immediately, so those are the options. Okay, Kevin, we'll do, and we'll land at San Bernardino, and I'll give you a call when we get there. Yo, 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 Kimberly, all right, thank you. Okay. We can make the turn back now, and I'll wrap it up, and then we can head direct. Okay. Well, this is a look from the southeast side of the fire. We're right over the 10 freeway right now, making our turn at about 10,200 feet. And you get an idea of, if we're at 10,000 feet plus, you're looking at the smoke plume going up and above us. In fact, it reaches that higher elevation and it flattens out, and it's kind of created a canopy for us right now. The smoke is right over our heads, but also out in front of us as I show you the ground there. We looked at the flame lengths. It looks like the wind has shifted a little bit and it's pushing the flame or the smoke more towards the east rather than the northeast. At least at the lower elevations here, you see that smoke kind of covering the fire line. It's a little difficult to see any flames under there. In this area, there's no homes that are in this area that are threatened. It's very rugged terrain. And as I look back towards the west, you'll see the extent of the burn scar there, where the smoke is kind of billowing up there in the center of the screen. And that's pushing from, the fire's pushing from west to east. This is flame lengths at the lower elevations, again, away from homes. Zero containment on this fire. It is just a monster, and it just continues to grow out of control with the low humidity and the high temperatures. It is ripe for this type of fire. Fortunately, like I said, the winds aren't too strong, and it is a fuel-driven fire. So 4,100 acres plus and continuing to grow. That, I'm sure that number is much greater now than it was when we received that information a short time ago. 3 structures lost, 1 single-family residence, and 2 outbuildings. I was talking about this part of the fire. This is the southern flank of the fire, and the fire has made its way down the hillside. There's a little plateau there where there's just grass. You see some vehicles, fire vehicles there, and a couple of outbuildings along that trail. That's threatening those buildings now, but it's hard to say if it's going to actually get into those structures or not. Here's another one that's a little difficult to see on my monitor, but it appears to be possibly a structure right there. We can start back.
4 is westbound, back over San Bernardino.
So at the lower elevations, fire happening down there, some fire within the burn scar, still some unburned brush that's burning along the edges of that burn scar. We've seen a couple of flare-ups. Where's one that's going right now, right on the edge of the burn scar. There are some homes there just on the left side where you see that little plateau. And we've seen a couple of tanker drops over here on this side of the fire in that inside the burn scar. And you see the path of the fire there that's just continuing to burn and causing more smoke that's adding to that huge plume that is visible all across the Southland. We'll give you one more look. We're going to be breaking off for fuel here in a moment, but we'll give you one more look as we fly off and see just how this fire is behaving in the lower elevations. And this particular hot spot here is just to the east of Highway 79. It's about, well, basically one ridge line over from east of Highway 79. And one last look for you here as we talk about mandatory evacuations taking place east of Sunset Avenue, west of Hathaway Street, and north of Wilson Street. And Beaumont High School is the evacuation center for pets and for people that need to be evacuated. That's going to be where the evacuation site is in this area. Again, 4,100 plus acres burning out of control, zero containment, and firefighters doing what they can in this, what I believe is triple digit heat and low humidity. Firefighters in the air and on the ground doing what they can to suppress this fire as much as possible. Please make sure to join us for the NBC4 News at 8 o'clock tonight for all the very latest on this fire. Again, this is the apple fire burning in Cherry Valley that started yesterday at 5 p.m. This is Gil Davis signing off for now. NOC from Bravo on PV, on Santiago. Hey there, we're all done. We're going to break for fuel. We'll drop signal for you. Thank you.